What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I got some news I want to talk to you about. This Mikey Garcia and Earl Spence, negotiations, the talks, the possible super fight between these two guys, and I've been doing some research, and I've been looking at both fighters, and you know, um, this isn't a fight study. Okay, I haven't really put that together yet, but I will say this. After seeing what happened last weekend with Alvarez and Kovalev, I can understand and I can see how or why Mikey wants to do it. I did a detailed video about this already. Check it out if you haven't saw it, because I'm not going to get too much in depth with the reasons because I've already explained the reasons. But I can tell you this about these two guys fighting. Watching Alvarez destroy, expose, once again, Kovalev. It just kind of, I thought about that this morning. And I know guys in other weight classes like Sullivan Barrera or, Bivol, you know what I mean? Really not really Bivol because he's Russian, right? So he didn't, he would rather not fight Kovalev because he said it in an interview. But, Beterbiev, um, those guys, I bet you those guys are like, you know what I mean? Because, Alvarez got that opportunity to expose Kovalev, you know what I mean? Because Kovalev is an awesome name to have on your record. There's only two people alive that has Sergey Kovalev on their record. You know what I mean? And as a losing opponent. And that's Andre Ward, because Andre Ward, I think Andre Ward did a lot, or did enough to at least show a blueprint on how you beat Kovalev. Because Kovalev, man, you remember Kovalev was that guy at 175, which people went up there, but they didn't prevail. Look at Hopkins. Hopkins thought, hey, man, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to go run towards the fire. You remember that? Because he could have negotiated a fight with Stevenson. He didn't want Stevenson. Stevenson was that paper champion to everybody. You know what I mean? And Stevenson was that guy that he, to this day, still has that belt for ransom and has not fought the best guys. You know what I mean? So no one wanted to fight Stevenson. So they wanted to fight Kovalev because Kovalev was that guy knocking people out, killing people. The dude killed a guy. You know what I'm saying? You can tell he's like one of those original Dragos. He's like the real life Drago, in our time. He killed a dude. So you know that he's one of those guys that he respected being feared. That's why Andre Ward, he fought him the way he fought him. He bullied the bully. And Alvarez picked up that blueprint of Ward's and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? He ran with that blueprint. Because if you notice, I think it was the first round, the second round, Alvarez had him in a clinch. And, the referee's trying to break him up. Break it up, break it up. And Alvarez kind of locked onto him, and they almost went through the ropes because I think Kovalev tried to, unclench himself. You know what I mean? And they almost went over the ropes, dude, over the top ropes. And then that's what his trainer, that's what his corner wanted him to do. They wanted him to bully Kovalev, to show Kovalev dude, you're not the bully here. You know what I'm saying? You're not the only guy that can roughhouse. And it was brilliant. It was a brilliant strategy. You know what I'm saying? It's a brilliant strategy how they did that. Okay, so yeah, he got that victory. He found those openings. He exploited those openings. He got Kovalev out of there. Kovalev's done, but Kovalev was the feared guy. Now, saying all that to say this. Who is the feared guy at 147? Errol Spence. So Mikey Garcia wants to come up there and be somewhat of an Andre Ward, right? So whatever he found in that fight, or the fight that he had with Peterson, because that's the fight I'm talking about. Whatever he saw in that fight led him to believe that, hey, I can beat this guy. and I want first cracks at it. You know what I mean? So it's only daring to be great if you're the first one to beat a guy. See, if you imagine if Mikey Garcia beat Errol Spence, how much that would do for his career. He would be bumped up on high on that pound for pound. People would be looking like, nah, man, he took out Spence. You know what I mean? And others they'll criticize, and and I'll just put things in perspective. But I mean, it would still be massive, and it would be very, very impressive because everyone has openings. Everyone has habits. Everyone is beatable. There's nobody in that ring that someone can't beat. And Floyd don't count. I'm not talking about Floyd. Because Floyd was, he was a good businessman inside the ring. I mean, outside the ring as well as inside the ring. So, I'll leave that there for another day. But there isn't anyone unbeatable. Okay. So that would be impressive to beat Errol Spence at this time in his career where he is that guy that's looking for a unification. And it would be a sad thing. It would be a lose. It would be a very hard loss for Errol Spence. If you think about it, if he lost to Mikey Garcia, what would his career look like after that? You lost to Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So for Mikey, it's a win-win. You went up there, you lost, you come back down, and then he's going to, he's supposed to fight a guy. I can't remember his last name, Comley or something like that. But, and that's a mandatory. Right? So they mandate him to fight this guy. I think he's going to drop that belt. He's going to drop that belt and move up and fight Spence. Because if he beats Spence, he has the IBF belt, the belt that Kell Brook had, the belt that Sean Porter had, that Kell Brook took, that he took from Kell Brook. So he'll be able to take that belt. And, I don't know what he would do at 147. I don't think he would stay up there. But he would do it just to prove a point. He'd probably go back to 135 or do whatever he wanted to do at that point. But for Spence, a guy without a belt, he's just another tough guy. Because that doesn't mean he can't fight unless he's kind of mentally unstable like Kovalev. And let's hope that's not the case. Because after the first fight with Kovalev kind of just like crumbled. I don't mean, does he have a drinking problem? One of my subscribers, man, they commented on that. He was like, hey, man, he might have a drinking problem or something like that, but he's mentally not there, So it's a lot of guys that kind of lose it. So that's like really no, that's no strange thing to boxing, guys that can't really focus because, boxing is a thinking game. It's you have to think in that ring. You know what I'm saying? You have to focus. So, if you can't think, you can't focus, right? So, it is what it is. But no, I think Mikey wants first cracks at Errol Spence, so he want to be that guy because he's the Vernon Forrest, right? We talked about the name I couldn't remember until almost the end of the video. He's the Vernon Forrest of to Mosley, So that's because Vernon Forrest will always be remembered that guy that beat Sugar Shane Mosley the first time, and then he beat him twice. He didn't just do it once. Like Mayorga would be the first person that beat it for Vernon Forrest. He did it twice. So, it's something about it's reverencing you are the man that beat the man. You know what I'm saying? And you're undefeated because Vernon Forrest was undefeated. I don't know about Mayorga. I think Mayorga was undefeated at that time because this was early in his career. He's walking in, smoking those Marlboro Reds. You know what I mean? Crazy guy. Very colorful guy. But, yeah. So I see it. I know why that's the case. Besides him avoiding Terrence, that's still a real reality. But, yeah, it's reverence in that. Because like I said, if we learned anything from Alvarez fighting Kovalev and upsetting him, he will always be that guy that retired Kovalev. And he has a spot in the boxing world to make millions to come. And I congratulate him. And if Mikey Garcia is going to do that same thing, he's going to vacate that 135 title that he just got from Easter. Somebody else is going to fight for it, possibly Easter. Hopefully that'll be great for Easter. And move up to fight Spence. And if he can win, that will be an awesome victory for Mikey Garcia. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.